the essence of this moment, what Proposition 50 represents to those that have been bullied, to those that have been demeaned, to those that feel powerless, to those that are concerned about not only themselves but each other. Prop 50 is not about drawing lines on a map. It is about holding the line to what makes us who we are.
All right, Prop 50, it's a California proposition on the ballot today. Why should you care? Well, because it could really affect Congress and the makeup of that institution. On the ballot, it says authorizes temporary changes to congressional district maps in response to Texas partisan redistricting. So it's making it very clear why they want to do this. Let's look at the map. Right now, this is the sea of red there, but those are a lot of rural districts, okay? What Newsom would propose to do, if it passes today, is to make it more look like this, so shrinking the red on the map. Here are 5 Republicans that are at risk. One of them been there for a while, Darrell Issa, for example. David Valadao, Hemmer, we talk about him all the time. He always wins these very tough races.
He's the cockroach you can't kill.
Ken Calvert, exactly. Okay, and then the balance of power. This is what would happen if you have these changes, 219 to 213 Democrats. It's high stakes, and Congressman Kevin Kiley, he's one of those guys on the board there. He's a Republican of California, an up-and-coming congressman, and your seat, I know that you have won it, but what do you make overall of the changes here, and what do you think it will do specifically to your district?
Well, I think it's a terrible thing. It's a major regression for democracy in California if this goes through. I think gerrymandering is wrong. I oppose it everywhere. We actually don't have it in California anymore. We moved on from it a long time ago. And now Gavin Newsom is trying to bring it back. And not just any gerrymander. This has actually been rated by Princeton University as one of the 2 worst gerrymanders of the last 50 years. They gave it an F grade for fairness. So as far as my own district, they're going to chop it into 6 different pieces that all go different ways to create new districts. So of course I don't like that. I think I happen to represent the most beautiful district in California. But I'm voting no because I oppose gerrymandering. I opposed it in any state where it's happening. And I certainly oppose California having one of the worst gerrymanders of all time.
Do you wish that President Trump and the Republicans hadn't started this path?
Well, I wish we just didn't have gerrymandering at all. And I've actually proposed a bill that would say we're not going to do mid-decade redistricting in any state. So the problem with the logic underlying the 50 campaign that Gavin Newsom is leading is he says, oh, Texas did this or some other state did this, and that's a bad gerrymander. But what California is doing in response is a good gerrymander. But what about all these other states that are coming next? North Carolina, Virginia, you name it. There's several other states. Are those good gerrymanders or bad gerrymanders? Even Texas, they would tell you, well, no, we're responding to New York or we're responding to Pennsylvania. So it just becomes this race to the bottom that degrades democracy everywhere.
Here is the fundraising for Prop 50. The supporters of it, $121 million. Opponents, $44 million. So, vastly outspent. But the real consequences are to people like farmers in your state. Let's listen to one here.
It's sad that they are really carving out those Republican areas of the district and moving them to really make that area more Democrat. And that's not what the heart of the Central Valley is.
And having diversity within your state can be good, especially in Congress. But I want to show you this, too. In 2020, President Trump got 34% of the vote. In 2024, he got 38% of the vote. So obviously, that's still quite a bit less than the Democrats, but it was moving up. And there are Republicans in the state that would like some representation.
Yeah, that's right. And Newsom has explicitly said this is a partisan maneuver. He said the whole goal is to make California, quote, a whole lot bluer and to pick up 5 seats. And the point that the woman you just quoted there says is absolutely true. We have protections in our Constitution right now for keeping districts and communities of interest together. And this initiative would upend that. It would override everything else in our Constitution. But, at the end of the day, this really is not a Democrat versus Republican issue. What it is it's voters versus the politicians. This is an attempt by politicians to seize power back from voters in order to advance their own self-interests. And so that's why I'm voting no. That's why I'm encouraging everyone to vote no, because California deserves a whole lot better than this scheme that Gavin Newsom and Sacramento politicians have cooked up.
Congressman, if it does pass, though, and your district is changed and you run again, do you think you would be able to hold the seat?
I do. Actually, this is not the first time Gavin Newsom has targeted me. In the last election, he sent his own staff member who ran against me, and they made it one of their top targeted seats. I ended up winning by 46,000 votes. And the reason for that is that unlike Gavin Newsom, for whom everything is about partisanship, I've actually focused on issues that matter to the folks in my district, whether they're Democrat or Republican, like delivering major funding to alleviate traffic, like protecting Lake Tahoe. And so I think that that is the fundamental flaw with gerrymandering, is politicians think, oh, if we just move a few lines around on the map, we can get the outcome that we want. But voters are a lot smarter than that. They vote for the person. They don't necessarily vote for the party.
We just saw a beauty queen pass behind you. I don't know. I mean, like a lot of things happening on the Hill. Last thing for you. I know that you have stayed in Washington during the shutdown. There's rumors maybe that over in the Senate side, they're getting closer. Your thoughts on when we might get a closure?
Yeah, there are signs of life here. I've been having conversations as well with folks on both sides of the aisle. So, you know, it's possible this could be over by the end of the week. That's certainly what I'm hoping for, but we need to get it over with as soon as possible. When you look at the cascading consequences of this for millions of people, just because Congress is failing to do its most basic job, I'll tell you, it is no wonder that right now Congress has a 13% approval rating.
13? Wow.
13.
All right.
And dropping.
And dropping,
Kevin Kiley,
exactly.
thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.